if you can see, that's the video. This lineup goes on and on and on, and you have to pardon. The talking is, I often listen to the Maria report on what is happening in Ukraine. So that's what you're hearing. That's not part of the video. I didn't turn it off. But this lineup for the food bank in Toronto, and this is just Toronto. This isn't. Let me turn that off. And it goes on. There's children in strollers, older people, younger people. Certainly there's disabled people, because, I mean, let's face it, they don't even get enough to pay the rent, let alone medical costs, medicine, food. And I mean, these are working people too. Minimum wage is not covering the cost of rent. So, you know, I woke up to that, and of course I shared this on different platforms. I don't know how much people look at it, want to look at it. Are people sticking their heads in the sand? You know, I put Tired of Waiting Yet. It's a song. The song reminds me at least of the poorer people, people with disabilities, homeless people, people that have been waiting for so long, have been wanting to take a stand or have a voice, but alone, their voice doesn't amount to anything as a small group. If we all had a voice together, if we all put our voices together, we could get what we want. But I know poor people, people with on disability, there are so many people that even if they used their voice more, even if they protested, what are they going to do? When people that are working stop the mode of production, that makes a huge difference. They have leverage. We need people, all kinds of people, people with different forms of leverage, all speaking in unison to make change. And at some point, the people in poverty deserve to be seen, heard, and valued as human beings, like everybody else. But they can't do that alone. They need other people to stand up to. They need other people to value humanity along with them. Another one, State of Ontario Healthcare. Again, I put anyone else, #tired of waiting. Hamilton woman spends 3 days inside Juravinsky Hospital storage closet. And this is in Hamilton. And these are the kind of stories that we're seeing and hearing about day after day. But it's someone else. I mean, stories are similar. They're not all the same. They're not all being stuffed in a storage closet. Some are just in a hallway. I mean, I'm tired of waiting. There's so many people tired of waiting, but I guess I don't know what it's going to take. To dance in defiance, let's have a symphony orchestra, please. And one of the big ones, and I posted it, and sometimes I worry because I don't know if other people see this the same way. Your May Day reminder that labor rights includes disability justice. It includes justice for everybody. If your politics do not consider disabled workers, those excluded from working on the basis of disability, and protecting workers from work-related disability, including long COVID, your analysis is incomplete. Now, these are things I'm seeing across platforms. This is a doctor who works in psychiatry, The Wounded Healer, and he's on Twitter. This cannot be overstated. The longer I work in psychiatry, the more and more I am constantly reminded that one of the most harmful factors affecting our mental health, if not the most harmful factor, is poverty. It comes down to poverty. And I go on. One of the things that has amazed me, and it shouldn't be being a student of history all of my life since high school, since I first discovered history, Mr. Kett, that's on you. That was a wonderful thing for me. I got to take American history before I had to take the dreaded Canadian history. I'm sorry, but Canadian history is really, really dull the way it's done in high school. Well, and there's probably a reason for that with colonialism. And I think back, my high school Canadian history, colonialism is, the words barbarian, that was strewn throughout our history textbooks. It wasn't that long ago. And it was. And it is. In anthropology, I remember I took a Native Studies course in university, and I remember going to look to residential school, and we were there to listen to speeches by anthropologists, and it was all white, and they were talking about how it should be, Native people speaking, but they didn't invite any. It was mind-blowing at the time, and if that's still going on today, I don't know, but I certainly hope not. But Mr. Kett, he taught American history, and it was wild and it was exciting, and I got to experience some of that before I did the Canadian history. And had I done the Canadian history in the way it was whitewashed first, not to say American history wasn't, because it was whitewashed, but had I done Canadian history first, I may not have taken another history course. And I could go on and on about this history stuff, because I've lost my train of thought completely. I know it had to do, yes, of course, France. I shouldn't be surprised at the French Revolution, the French fight back. And here we are today, and they're taking to the streets over raising of the seniors' benefits, and they are not having any of it, and it's pretty impressive. I look around Canada, United States. United States at least they protest. They are louder. There's something about Canada that it hurts my soul to see that we're outside of unions telling the union members to strike. There's something about Canada that doesn't seem to have a backbone, outside of maybe hockey. Maybe that's why I love hockey so much. It saddens me. We've got the French in us too. I don't know what it's going to take. I feel like everybody is going on strike in different ways. Mostly unions, of course. And that's great. We need the unions. But I don't know what it's going to take for Canada to stand up and stand strong. I mean, I know we're a laid-back people. Maybe that's why the rest of the world thinks we're so nice, because we're really not that nice. We appear nice. I'm not trying to knock Canadians. I'm Canadian. But have we had to fight for something? Because if there's ever a time, it's really now. We have to fight for lives. The people that put up their All Lives Matter pictures and frames, framing their face, and we all feel like we're taking a stance when we put these pictures up. But are we? What will make us take a stand? Because I think so many of us really are tired of waiting. I am. Well, I'll be back. Not sure when, but this is a start and a practice run. Thank you so much for listening.